And it's one. I'm just a baby. Hoorah! Hoorah! Double dog. It's so funny to hear this song. But anyway. Yeah, you have the join in link. Hoorah! Please click like. So I realized as I was setting it up, I was like, oh, I could see my frustration face on the other feed. Oh well. Oh well, Pinky. Hoorah! Hi, Laurel. Laurel, please join us on YouTube because Pinky's gonna show up. I can't do that on Facebook where you're watching. You know what I mean? So please join us in the real deal. Hoorah! I'll be right back. Okay, Pinky, I'll be right back. All right, everybody, I'll be right back. Pinky, if you're in the background, I'll be there. I'm still a baby. Whoops, 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 whoops. The reason that I was saying that that was so funny as a cover song is here's the real. And it's funny because, like it says, it comes with a free poster. Well, let's see about that. Let's see about that. There's a record. If you consider this a free poster, it comes with a free poster. Like literally. This is real. And it says it comes with a free poster. Am I no longer live? I'm just kidding. You have an old link? Okay, I'll fix it. I'll fix it, Pinky. We'll fix it. Anyways, I'm not kidding about that. That's not a joke or whatever. Hold on, I didn't even fold it right. Hold on. And it's one. I don't know what to do. And it's free. What you're telling me. I'm still a baby. I'll send you a new one, Pinky, but I'm not joking you. That's what is considered a free poster. So yeah, I'll send you a new link if I've messed up. I just wanted to make that clear because that tape that I'm listening to, right? It's like that's their cover song. I make mistakes like that all the time, Pinky. I apologize. So Laurel, like I said, join us over here on the real one, eh? So yeah, give me a second. Gotta put this away. May say I got a dirty face. Gotta put the fucking thing away, and it's one. And I'm on the run, and it's two. I don't know what to do, and it's free. You're telling me. Well, that should be the right one. Should be the right one now. Cheers. So, Laurel, James, and anybody else, the reason you need to go to YouTube is because Pinky's going to join in, and you won't be able to see that on Facebook, right? So, just letting you know right now. Just letting you know right now. Hey, thanks for all the likes, man. I appreciate that. And I do appreciate you on Facebook, but like I said, go to that YouTube because Pinky's going to join up. You won't be able to see it there. You know what I mean? So come on here, you know? Come on, join us ubiquitously. Thanks, Laurel. Thanks, James. Thanks, everybody watching over there. I texted it. Yeah, I texted it, Pinky. Uh-oh. When I remove myself from the group, does that mean I can't text you anymore either? Holy moly. Holy sheep shit. Did I get myself into more trouble again? Oh, trying to fix that old text thing, you know. Maybe I fucking made it so I can't, even send you messages anymore like a fucking idiot, right? I texted it. Holy shit. They said I got a dirty face. Oh, fudge. Oh, yeah, there we go.
Here.
Easy enough. Easy enough.
Yeah.
Poof. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Man,
We're going to
I
be
wish
on
I
the
was
phone
in
and
that sun.
come down here and enjoy the evening in my backyard.
Yeah, like I said, I wish I was in that sun. I was in it when I was here, but I'm still being greedy. Like I wish there was more. I had a good time.
Yeah, it's like 6 o'clock or so.
Yeah. 21, 22 over here. A lot of fish. That's what my watch says. You can subtract 3. It's 18, so it's 6 o'clock. Yes. Hey, Hobo, what's going on? Uh oh. Did you freeze? Chilling? Ann, are you chilling too much? Hold on. Oh, shoot. Pinky, you froze. Come back anytime. I didn't kick you off because I wanted to. I kicked you off because you froze. It looks beautiful back there. Yeah, and like I said, so you're 3 hours behind, 16. You know what I mean? Why did I say that? Why did I say that? Sorry. 6:23 over there in your evening in your beautiful backyard. Please come back up. Please come back up. I had to only push you down because it was frozen. So it was Susie's birthday yesterday. So I listened to Juju today. I have to thank. No. Come back up. What the fuck? Okay. No. Come back up. No, you were frozen. That's the only reason. Ah, here we go. It's all about hitting the right rhythm. What's up?
There we go. Okay.
There we
Yeah.
go.
Like, what happened? Something weird happened.
Yeah. It's the
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, I guess.
Well, I'm getting my dinner delivered, so when it's here, I gotta go. But I think I've probably got a little while until then.
What is it?
Yeah, I was talking to a friend. He's from New Orleans, and we started talking about shrimp po' boy,
Right.
and then I had to have one, and they also had red beans and rice, so I ordered some of that too.
Yeah. Like tonight, my kids had
Yeah.
hot dogs. Now they had pretty good, high quality hot dogs, but the bread was like a grinder bread, so it was more like a po' boy bread. So yeah, they could have had anything like that. We make those. We'll make them with shrimp. I'll make roast beef, and I'll make it in its own gravy, and then so you can have like a double po' boy. I'm good at that stuff. I love doing that. Not that I need to eat it, but I know how to cook it. I like craving food. I believe this will fix. I gotta believe. Keep hope alive. This will fix. I don't know, Pinky. I don't know what's up. The solar flares are doing it, eh? Yeah, well, the sun being, I guess, the source of all energy and the entire known universe, or the at least whatever it's shining a light upon. Ha ha ha. Being the source of all power. Yeah, it's gonna mess us up every once in a while. But how come I got signal? Oh, that's not right. No, I'm just kidding. Hello, Facebook. Hello, Laurel. Please join us over here on YouTube. Doggone solar flares. They're doing us. They're doing us wrong. And it's beautiful over there. Nice weather, nice time of day. Sacramento area, maybe. I'm not nailing anything, but beautiful over there. Right, right. Well, I'm a moon traveler. I was actually what is this? I was actually a St. Peter confirmation. St. Peter's cross is on my negative side. I asked my father if he could remember. I was like, "Do you remember what I was confirmed under?" And he said, "No." And I said, I know, Pinky. It'll probably work inside. You know what I mean? Maybe you're being too ambitious." I always tell everybody, there's no professional place that doesn't have a tripod. That's what it starts with. It doesn't matter if it's just wedding photos. Everything starts with a tripod. But anyway, yeah, maybe you're just being too ambitious, too far away from the thing. Yeah, I mean, the solar energy, the new moon is coming in. Keep your eyes out. The new moon is coming in. What should we do about this? What should we do? Okay, my Facebook one, I'm going to shut it down right now. Okay, bye, Facebook. Bye. Come see me on YouTube if you have the wherewithal. I'm going to kill that and I'll be right back. Because what do we do from here, eh? Cool, cool, cool. Well, I'm going to shut all that down. Hey, Hobo, are you ready to play Connect 4, man? Somebody was trying to go again. I was like, I beat you already. But I would love, love to play Connect 4, Hobo. Come on. After that, you can remind me how to make better paper planes again. I was only lucky once. What would I do for a Klondike bar? Well, I got a Klondike bar, Hobo. It's a Reese's one. You want one? You want middle center? You want to go straight in the middle? What color? What color? You want to be red? You want to be killer red, or you want to be underground yellow? Underground yellow or killer red? It's my turn first. No, I'm just kidding. All right, here we go. That's you, right? Because of Hobo, I'm going right there. I have a special respect for you. The always you should always top middle center, no Molly. You should always top the first move, but I went over here because of you, Hobo. I want to be side by side, and it's your turn. You're red. You're red. Too late. Middle center. We do 1, 2, 3, 4, 7, and so forth. So that's 3. All right. So 1, 3, 4 is the center, 5, 7, and so forth. You want 3. Bam. All right. Right? Just want to make sure. All right. We could probably build a sweater over here going back and forth with colors. And, that might be necessary. It might be necessary. What I'm going to do right now, though, is that one. That's all I can do. That's all I can do. I don't know. You've got me very concerned already. It's your turn. And I'll verify before I drop your chip. We'll make sure everything is up and up. I never cheat. 5 is right there. 5 is right there, brother. Boom. All right. So I see them potentials, I see these potentials, and I see other things that catch my drift. It is your turn again. I think we've got it. I think we've got it going on, going strong. You were in 5 last time, and it is your turn. You have the advantage. Oh, right on top, right up here. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. More dead than alive. I'm just going to waste your time. I'm going to waste your time and I'm going to make you go here for 1 second. Just so I don't have to think. I don't want to think, Hobo. So I'm just going to force your hand because you can't climb. You can't climb straight to heaven. You have to take the stairs. That's the answer I've always learned. So I think you want to go in 4. I'm not going to make you, but I think you want to go in 4. Yes, you do. All right. I did that just to waste your time. I'm most concerned about 1, 2, 3, 4. These guys, they scare me. They scare me, And so I could put down here to be wham, bam, bam. Well, that doesn't really win for me, does it? Because then you would win on that. So I guess the answer is I'll go here. I'm trying my best, Hobo. You totally have the advantage. You have the advantage. And it's your turn. Trying my best, man. I want to play a respectable game and not lose in shame. He wants a 15. Holy sheep shit. There is no 15. Oh my gosh. Do you want 5? We won't call it spamming. I'm asking you again. Did you want a 5? Okay. You want some, right? That makes my answer very easy. It makes me say I don't need to think. I just have to block a total 4. It is Hobo's turn. Very, very, very good choice. Yeah, I think you're coming up on me. I think you're coming up on the win here. Six. Okay. All right. So 6 all the way over here. Well, 7. I'll take 7. I'll take 7 on that. Gots to. It's your turn. We'll see. Please click like, everybody. Click like for Hobo. He went first, and I think he's going to clean up on me. I think he's going to get me. We always get a chance to go again. Okay, he's going in 1. He's going in 1. Bam. That blocks me out of that, but also my main fear used to be here. So I gotta feel a little bit of a relief. I gotta feel a little bit. I don't know why I was so hung up on that, but I was really scared about that one. You still got it if you want it, but it's your turn, Hobo. You still got it if you want it. I'm scared. Try my best, man. We're literally making a sweater, man. We're definitely filling up a lot of the. Oh no, 4 or 5 right here. Oh yeah, we're filling up a lot of that space. Yep, yep. All right, let's see. All right, here we go. We'll call this a threat. It is your turn. We'll call that a threat. Oh no, we were losing connection there. Oh no. Can't lose connection at this point. 24 seconds back in. Holy moly. 2. Okay, 2. Hold on. It's going to take me a second. Hold on. Okay. I'm going to go right chair. Hopefully, yes, we're still representing correctly. And oh my gosh, I lost connection too. So hopefully this all works. 3. Okay. Right up there in 3. Dangerous 3. All right. Now, that could be the end of the game right there. It really could be. Right? Because he could go all the way across, or I could go that way. That could be the end of the game right there. How does that information change in this world? How does it change? You know, I might be dead in the water as it is. There's also 4 that way and 4 that way. There's nothing here. So I'm going to go right there. I'm going to go right there. That's all I can do. I could be wrong. You could really, really wipe the floor up with me. And it's your turn, my man, Hobo. Please click that like, man. Please click that like. This is a high stakes game. We've already made a sweater. At least of some wonky nature, we've made a sweater so far. 6. Nearly the end. 6. Okay. If you do 6, I do 7. I still don't know, man. We're going to fill up most of the board here. And you went first, so you definitely have the sweater advantage. You did 6, I did 7, and here we go. Whoops, that would not be cool. 6 again. So you want 6 again to verify. Sorry, I should know already, but I need to verify. You want 6 again. Because then I only have one choice. Okay, 6 again. He's got 3, he's got 3, so I only have one choice when he goes up that way. I have to stop off the grind. Okay, we're going to do like a maximizing the board game here. We really are. Because you got to block me out, I guess, over here on 7. Maybe. Okay, you want to go to 2 right here. 7. 2? No, 7. Yes. You went to 7 because you have to. But then I got 1, 2, 3. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Good game. Good game. I did not win yet. I did not win yet. We just finished. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thank you, Hobo. That was awesome, man. I love playing. I really do. I hope you had a good time, too. I hope you enjoy. I do, man. Love to play, man. Right, right. And just because Pinky couldn't join in doesn't mean you can't, Hobo. If you have time, I'll send it to your email. You know what I mean? If you have time. Oh yeah, I'll get another violation. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Of course, yeah, yeah, yeah. I was, yeah, yeah, yeah. That'll break me all up, man. Oh, wah, that'll break me all up, brother. I'll be dying for that. I'll be dying for that stupid thing. Well, it's too bad, man. It's too bad. Everybody say, "Oh, another restrictions," Well, that's okay, Hobo man. Look forward to the gift. It's coming. It's coming. All right, let's see what we can do here. Yo, what's up, Brian? How you doing, man? Cheers, cheers, brother. I can't believe it. Hobo is joining in. Hey, Hobo.
All right. I'll figure it out. Hold on. Let me turn the TV off.
Okay, no problem. Hi, Brian.
Otherwise, you're echoing back on yourself.
Yeah. Well, I'll be quiet if I could.
Well, I put it on the TV so I can follow you in real time because every time I try to post something on my phone, it mutes your video or it pauses it. So then I end up on lag time or whatever.
Yeah. Oh yeah, man. I worked at Panera to do the overnight baking, and if you lose 2 minutes, you have to multiply it by every batch. So I completely understand exactly what you mean. So if you're like 20 seconds behind, you have to multiply that by how many hours you're in attendance, and
Right.
it ends up being pretty messed up. So, cool, Brian. I'm gonna hit this bong here. Welcome to new restrictions to everybody. No.
Restrictions.
No, so I have a
We
bunch of
don't need
JK
no
bands
stinking
here.
restrictions.
I have a bunch of JK bands here because I keep getting their stuff. It's like so, low priced and tasty. It's really good, man. Really good.
But they're not getting their kickback, so they don't want you selling, pimping somebody else's product because they ain't getting a kickback. You got to grease all the right wheels and pay off all the right hands,
Yeah. Well, I mean, look, it's clear that when somebody is in the right group, they want everybody to look at that. They everybody look at that, and cut down all the little guys. That's all it is. That's all that is.
Yeah.
I'm a freeloader here. I'm not a partner with YouTube, and they make that clear. They say, hey, if you, or we would give you more information if you were. They make that clear. So, that's not my world.
So we don't get paid if we don't become a partner with YouTube.
I guess you can get paid in the real world, I guess, but you can't advertise it here, right? So I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how any of that works. I just wondered.
I don't know either. I don't, and
I don't want to sign no contracts, so I guess I won't ever get paid.
Right. Yeah. Well, the only thing I will sign is contracts, and it's usually for people's educations, for tax purposes, for a lawsuit, whatever. That's what I'll sign for. I don't give out my signature otherwise.
Yeah, I don't do that either. I guess I've been giving it out a lot lately, trying to do medical stuff, though.
Yeah.
Trying to get the doctor stuff in order, and that's been a whole thing, I avoided the doctors and the medical crap for a long time and just kind of treated my symptoms holistically and whatnot. But it got to the point where I felt like I need to go. So I started going, and now they got me jumping through one hoop after another. You know what I mean?
Right.
Oh, we don't know what's wrong with you, but something's definitely wrong with you.
Well, what's your primary gripe? Your symptoms that you go for. You know what I mean? You go because.
Well, they just want to keep giving me more tests and more drugs and.
Yeah, but your own, like at home, are you saying, I don't have the energy, or I'm having back pain, I'm having leg pain? Like, what do you come with?
I'm all fucked up. You didn't know?
Yeah. Well, no, I do know. I understand that. I was just asking specifically. Yeah, for sure.
My central nervous system is completely shot out, fried, short-circuited, whatever you want to call it. All kinds of nerve damage going on. So they're trying to figure out how exactly that's affecting my muscles and whatnot. If it's sending false signals of pain, if there really is problems. I mean, they did determine I do have arthritis in my whole skeletal system, but that doesn't explain the amount of pain that I deal with on a constant basis. Right. But out of it, I mean, they gave me a bunch of the psychotropic pharmaceutical drug, but I didn't want them. They upset my stomach and all that, whatnot. And so I got them. They finally gave me the cannabis.
Like a license.
Cheers, Anthony. How you doing, brother? Yeah, so I got the cannabis, and I got different variations for the different things and stuff. But it helps with the pain. It helps with the anxiety. It helps with all of it.
It's amazing.
Yeah. And I got one type of flower for waking up in the morning and a different type of flower for going to bed at night.
Right. And those are prescribed. That's awesome. Hey, Anthony, what's going on?
Well, I've got the prescription, but actually the flower I got now came from a recommendation that a good fine gentleman over here that I met right here told me about.
Okay. I hope it's working out. I hope it's working out,
The
man.
price is working out great, and the product works fine. That's
Okay,
what
cool.
matters, you know. I mean,
Cool.
it's affordable. It's within the budget, and it does what it's supposed to do. So, you know.
Oh yeah, and weed eating all day, Anthony. Absolutely, bro. I understand that, man. That was, the last job that I had. It was a varied job because it was maintenance of foreclosed homes, but it was also foreclosures. Now, I could be caught for 12 to 20 hours a week just weed eating. Those were my happiest days in the world. I had my nice little harness for my weed eater, so it just floated around in my hands. And I just kept my mind on the business. Just kept my mind on science while I was just wandering around with my body. I love the job, bro. I loved it.
And the gray noise drowns out all the BS.
Yeah, yeah. The only thing I didn't like about weed eating is a horsefly. If you run into a pack of horseflies, you're in trouble because there's no gas fume in the world that bothers them. They just come to eat and lick some more blood and poke some more holes in you, man. They're relentless, bro. Horseflies are just not good.
I don't think we have that problem here.
No, that's amazing. Yeah, man.
We got some big ass flies, but they're not bloodsuckers or anything like that.
Man, these things will hit you and they dive bomb you and you just break open. You just bleed everywhere. It's like bright red because it's a tiny little hole.
Yeah.
Oh, you were on a hillside today? Well, good Lord, man. Thank you didn't tumble over.
No, that was a workout in itself up and down a hill.
Yeah.
Depends on how steep the hill is. You could have worked side by side.
Right.
If it's too steep, you'd be falling down. He said he's going to flies where he's at.
Yeah, he's in Virginia. I'm in Virginia. Yeah, they're vicious. They're really bad. Yeah. There's more people coming in. Hey, thanks. Please click like. And over there, we got Hobo.
Make sure you give a thumbs up to everybody.
Hobo and I had a long fought Connect 4 here. We almost filled the board, so pretty good.
He kept putting me in these little traps, and the one he won me on, I didn't see it coming. And even when he told me to block me, I didn't understand. And then I was like, oh, wait, it doesn't matter if I block you or not.
That's where you want to get
him. I was busy trying to set up my own little trap, and you snuck that one right past me.
Be defensive. Be defensive. Because I was the second place. The second person is at a disadvantage. Seriously. If you get the first move, you really have your foot in the game, So the second person has to be defensive and just squeeze you out slowly and hope that you make a mistake, actually. You know what I mean?
That's how it goes with chess, too.
I play computers on this game. And when I play computers, I can still beat them 3 times. Because
backgammon?
What's that, backgammon? Yeah, I love backgammon. Yep.
All right. If we ever have a face-to-face sit-down, I challenge you to backgammon.
A backgammon? Yeah. Okay.
We'll
That'd
do
be awesome.
2 out of 3, all right?
Hey, no problem. I want to play Mastermind with you. You ever play Mastermind? That's a great game.
Never heard of it.
Well, it's a code cracking game, You've got 4 positions, you've got 4 colors, but you can make any combination. And so what they tell you in the answer is you got the right color, wrong spot, right color, right spot, right color, right spot, and then you got to decode within a few turns, to get the original code. So the reason I'm doing Connect 4 here is because you can see it online.
I think I've seen some variations of that on some people's YouTube videos,
Yeah.
like a family type game, you know, there's money involved.
My favorite game to play, it's called Score 4. It's Connect 4, but it's in 3D. So they use pins and beads that you can stack up. So you can go 4 high, you can go 4, diagonally that way or that way. There's or just laterally, just across.
All
But
right.
there's no way to see that online because that's a big gel cube. You know what I mean? There's nothing to see here.
Yeah.
Try to make it simple here. But yeah, like you said, face to face, sure. Let's play more complicated games.
Yeah, I don't know when I'll ever come to Virginia, though, just so you know.
Right.
I do want to try to go down to Tennessee, though, maybe next year.
You have family there?
Well, that's where Hillbilly lives.
Oh, okay. All right.
And he's come to visit me a few times with his family since we've been here, but we haven't been there to visit him yet. I got a little dog that's old and losing her footing.
Right.
So I'm just waiting for her to pass, and once she passes, then we'll think about doing a road trip adventure. And if we do, we'll probably wait until summertime. It probably won't happen this year. It'll probably wait until next year, but which will be good because at least maybe next year the economy will be better, so we may be able to afford to do it.
Yeah, right.
There's a lot of ifs involved there that I don't have any control over.
Sure. Oh, well, cheers. There you go. Nice pipe.
That's my tobacco pipe.
Yes, sir.
I told you all those, didn't I?
Yes, sir. Cheers, Bree. How you doing? Yep, I have one of those too. One of those rounds. It's so awesome. And it's like as soon as the pandemic came, I was ordering extra pipes. I ordered extra pipes. I put them in my round. My wife said, "What are you doing?" I said, "Hey, we're not allowed to share anymore." It was an excuse for me to get extra pipes and to hang them up. I was like, "We're not allowed to share. I got 6 of them. You want to bring 6 friends?"
Yeah, right. Yeah, these are all gifted to me. Even the Lazy Susan thing was gifted to me.
Yeah.
So a buddy of mine passed away about I don't know 6 months ago, something like that. And
yes, sir.
His widow gave me a bunch of his stuff.
Okay.
So, you seen that walking stick? Didn't I show you my wizard staff I made?
Yes, you did. Yes.
I made that for him, and then when he passed away, she gave it back to me.
So I saw, even more importantly than when I saw it on my channel, I saw when you did a video about it. So if you'd like to explain, what is there, like how you crafted that, because that's something I worked with for a long time in planning. And we never did it, but like my wife and I, because we had sort of a reservation about it. But I was like, hey, I would really like to make super specific wands because I know about people's traditions and I can give them like symbology that they're comfortable with and stuff like that.
That's something I want to get into as well.
Yeah.
I've got a few pieces that I've collected from different trees that are about, a foot or 2 long.
Right.
I've got even a couple that are even 3 feet long, but I have plans to narrow them down.
Right.
But I want to do more wizard staffs, and I want to do wands. I want to get more into the fantasy and folklore type mythical side of things, and all that.
Right.
I thought about doing the Renaissance fairs and all that. I used to like doing them when I was younger, but honestly, Joe, I just don't like getting out around other people too much.
Big crowds and all.
Crowds, yeah.
Yeah.
I couldn't do concerts anymore. I couldn't do the fairs anymore. And too much going on, too many people doing too many stupid things, too much to look out for. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. No, for real, for real. Like, of course, like I'm so happy in my life that we have Virginia legality and shit. But I used to work at the goddamn Nissan Pavilion over here, which is Jiffy Lube Live or whatever. And if I
Yeah.
was working now and you got all these fucking, people around here that are entitled that just want to smoke joints wherever they want, I'm sure that's what they're doing. I'm so glad I
Yeah.
don't work there now because why should I be put in the middle of this situation?
Right.
They should know better than to go to a venue like that and just spark up wherever they want. But guess what? They did anyway in the past, and we had to deal with it in a certain way where some of it was reasonable, some of it wasn't, because come on. I mean, you have to accept that as a reality. But now with people just having entitlement and walking around, I'm so glad I'm not there to be in the middle. I don't want to middle manage that stupidity. Because people have that stupidity. They're like, I can do what I want now. It's like, you can never do what you want. Like, no, sir. Like, there's no governor. You have no governor. You don't have to elect him. I mean, the one you were born with.
No, but
That
you still
governor.
got a society of people that you got to live with,
What's up,
and
Nick?
you know what I mean. And so you got to self-govern your own,
Yeah.
whatever, your own
Heck
community,
yeah.
your own self, your own household, even with
Absolutely.
you and your
I'm an
family.
anarchist. I'm an anarchist, absolutely. But that means that everything I do, I accept the consequences of.
That's right.
Because I know
That's
it can
right.
go way fucked. It can go way fucked, and I'll do it anyway. But I'm telling you what, I own it. I'll take it. I'll take it.
That's the key right there. Is you got to own it. You got to accept responsibility for your own choices, your own thoughts and actions, and quit blaming everybody else. It ain't my fault that you think the way you do.
Right. Cheers,
Yeah.
Cosmic. Thanks for coming in, man.
Cheers, Cosmic.
Cosmic, I'm gonna send him 777. That's what's in the mail for Hobo.
Joe's sending me a book.
Yep, yep. I think that's appropriate. I can't send you the
I
big,
like
big book
books.
right
Books are my favorite. When the
Oh
grid
yeah, man.
goes down and the
Oh
lights go out, there ain't gonna be no Google. Everything's gonna be books or nothing.
yeah. Right, right, right. Yeah, way back, man, they had the Boston Marathon bombing situation, and the iPhone. They decided to jam all the video capability for the area that was being swept. And I was
Okay.
like, "Are you really serious?" You know what I mean? Like now you can't rely on that thing because they can jam it in a second by pushing a button. And I was like, these people need to get their Super 8s out and figure out how to make some film here. You know what I mean? Because if this becomes more important, it's that easy. It's that easy for them to say no. You know?
Good deal. Good deal. Yeah.
Oh yeah, I believe he will love it. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I like a good read. I'm stuck on this tarot book you give me. This one here.
Yes, yes.
I got to chapter 3. So the first 2 chapters were pretty basic, talking about the author talking from her point of view, like how she feels about tarot and all that whatnot. But then chapter 3 got into actually talking about the cards and the symbology and the meanings, and so I'm struggling with it, and I'm
Yeah,
finding that I think I need to have a dictionary with me for some of it because there's a few words in here that I never heard of,
right.
and I get the meaning of most of it just by if I continue reading by the context of it, but um, I've got a feeling I'm going to have to read this 3 or 4 times before I fully grasp all of it.
It's always the best to make your own notes, and also like if you don't understand it the first time, rewind and do it then.
Yeah.
So the second time it's just like actually like just burning it in
Well,
instead
not
of
only
being
that,
like
but
still befuddled. You don't want
I
to be
was thinking
befuddled.
I might have to take a highlighter to it with me, when I'm reading, like highlight things that pop out at me, and where that like I relate to on some level or another, and then I can deep dive into, whatever that, and then when I go back and reread it later, then I can pick up something else,
Right,
or even something I did highlight will hit me in a different way.
right,
And
right.
that I'm like that with anything, even when I read like Louis L'Amour or any of them, novel type books.
Right.
It's the same way. I pick up something I missed before. So
Yeah. Yeah.
good stuff.
Yeah. I mean, we use the same language all the time. So you're reading one sort of story, another sort of story. We're still filtering through the same words and going through those same emotions. That's the universals, and it informs us just by experience. That's experiential information. You know, we get that information and we be able to relate to each other quickly, and that's important. That's important because we have to recognize each other.
Right. Exactly. All right.
There's no way here as I mean, you know, there are ways, but it's only on the waste of others. There's no way as a solo man to make the path through this world. You have to have a community or a group or something. Yeah, like I
Well,
said, there's a way to live on the waste of others.
well, here's the thing: is mostly I'm a loner. I always have been. I've
Yeah,
always been a Sigma type personality, and so anyway, I've been in and out of groups and packs and tribes or whatever, and helped when I could and whatever, but I always got out when the chaos started coming.
yeah,
And what I mean by that is when they start turning on each other. But
yeah.
but anyway, I think I had a point, but I think I lost it.
Well, no,
I'm
I
gonna
mean,
take another
I
hit.
don't think you lost anything. You're getting me to think of something like people like they because they've been taught and indoctrinated in it. They look for a political order, so they're like, hey, they start scrambling around. Like,
Right.
you seem like
Okay.
you're
So
doing the secretary situation. You seem like you're vice president, and you know the
okay.
guy
So
who's like, hey,
I
man,
found
I've
what I
been
was
given
gonna
the
say.
best for everything I could here. But hey, I'm not going to sell myself in. I'm not going to brand myself for your company or whatever. That
Well,
guy, you know.
it's not that may be part of it, some excuses used in it, but what it really boils down to is each and every single one of us have our own journey to venture in the path of this physical realm of things, the journey, path of life, however you want to view it.
Sure.
And yes, we can walk with other people on our journey, on our path, but they have their own path to follow, their own journey. And so we all veer off at some point in time. We'll come in and our paths will wind and meet occasionally throughout. But I've got people that I've been friends with since childhood, but we don't talk all the time. We come together and we grow apart and come together and grow apart. And it's the same thing with you and I right now. We're here, we've grown together, we're merging now, we're on the same wavelength, communicating, connecting, and all that whatnot. But there will come a time when you'll go one way and I'll go another for whatever reason.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it goes. That's the way
Hey,
everybody goes.
hey,
That
real like seasonal relationships and the acceptance of that with no pressure, with like, yeah, I guess it wasn't time again, you know? I mean, I've dealt with that my entire life and like that's just how it goes. So I have friends that are elementary school friends. And it does sound like it was yesterday, when we start communicating again. But it's because we knew we're only going to see each other when the wind is right.
exactly.
Passing in the night, ships passing in the night. Obviously, we know how much ground is actually here. We have no
Right.
illusion.
Right. Well, like I said, Hillbilly and I, we've been friends since we was little kids.
Right. Right.
And we didn't always like each other. In fact, there were times when we absolutely hated each other. But we've always found a way to reconnect and forgive and move on and whatever. There were times when we liked each other, but we just didn't connect. You
Right.
know what I
Right.
mean? And there was
Sure.
just nothing that we saw eye to eye about. And so
Man.
we went our own ways in life. We
Hey,
went through a lot
hobo.
of periods of time where we don't. What's up?
Being banned from here, I spent 3 or 4 days on Facebook Live,
All
and the
right.
group of people that ended up showing up were so predictable. But one of them, there's a very specific history I have with, and I just spent a couple minutes just again, like speaking with him like it was tomorrow. But anyways, like the very specific experience that I had with him is like we were both decent musicians. We both had connections in two different like realms, but we played the same instrument. So as much as we wanted to bring each other up and share that time, we couldn't because we're the same guy. Like you just butt up against each other. So you know what I mean? Like we always had that relationship. It's like, man, I'd love for you to come play with the string players I do, but I have to. I'm feeling that. And he's like, I'd love for you to play with the key players I'm playing with, but it's my job. And
Right.
he's like, they barely let me in, I can't let you in, And so that's just like, that's the way it is. Maybe you guys were too similar to get along for that stretch of time.
Well, I think that's true on several of the occasions. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's true with a lot of people that I've lost contact with throughout the years. There was too many familiarities, similarities, and whatnot. Now, then I wasn't prepared to face myself and deal with those things to be able to feel comfortable around people that mirrored me. But
Sure.
now I don't have a problem with it. It's whatever.
Yeah.
Because I've had to come to a point, and I believe that everybody does. You come to a point in your life when you realize you can no longer run from yourself. You have to face yourself. You were never able to run from yourself. And when you bottle that energy up, it doesn't dissipate. It just amplifies and builds up, momentum, and then it becomes more destructive. So you got to deal with that energy when it comes at you,
Yeah.
no matter what the case may be, no matter what, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was like it wasn't even that far, but it was in my 30s when I'm like, I have to leave my 20s behind, which meant like scrapping about shit, like fighting at the drop of a hat. And I'm like, we've been programmed to do that. We're all fighting over these scraps. That's what scrapping is, and it's
Yeah.
ridiculous. But you're not going to figure it out in time. And then you look back and you say, geez, I wish I risked more when I had less to lose because it's getting too late now. And that's what people come up
I
to
don't
now.
have that regret myself. I risk everything all the time, but I
Yeah.
do relate to the scrapping thing.
Yeah. Well, no,
Yeah.
people do that though. I mean, I hear like people in their 50s and, it's kind of that story is like, I could
No,
have risked
I
more and
wish
made
I
a
knew
bit.
then what I know now. That's for sure. The
Yeah.
song, I wish I knew what I know now when I was younger.
When I was
You ever
strong.
heard that one?
Yeah.
Yeah, when I was
For
stronger.
sure.
Yeah. Hell
I guess
yeah.
it's faces or something. Yeah.
Yeah. If I had the strength, the energy that now with the knowledge that and experience and all that I have now, I could make things happen, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But now I can't get one of these young people to come hang out and help do the work. I can't convince them that work is fun.
Right. Right. Right.
Yeah. Well, it's a
Well, I
different
think
world we
the
live
thing that
in.
I learned was it's never enough because I figured it out early enough because I had sisters who were 10 and 12 years younger than me. So I had a good stretch of time where I was beautiful and had like curly hair and was thin and, 19 and wore velvety clothes. And, there's always one more dude who was more beautiful. See? So, I mean, I learned this story too. It's like that, as hard as I fucking fought, it's like
You want
that's
to see a picture of me when I was younger?
Sure.
Hold on, let me dig it out.
I'm just telling you, there's always one more guy, man. So you can kill yourself, but
Oh. Oh. Oh shit.
we're in the archives, man.
I know it's the shoebox came out.
It's funny, because now I know I'm sending you a book, but before that today, I was thinking about certain records, and I was like, well, I don't know if you have like an open active player. I was thinking about you, but I didn't know if you had that open. So
So I don't know. Can you see that one?
Yeah.
So that's, I want to say, in my 30s, early to mid 30s, with my 2 kids.
Right. Oh my gosh. They're
And
big.
the daughter is 33 now, and the son is 30 now.
Dang.
Yeah.
Where are you right there?
I
In a
want to
school
say
or?
I was in my living room in Riverside, California.
Oh, okay. I thought that was like in their school or something with all the, all the
No,
stuff on
that's
the wall.
those are my ancestral photos.
Okay.
And you can't really see it, but above my head is my family tree.
Oh, okay. I do see the colors in that. I see that they're very muted colors.
Yeah.
That's cool. So in Riverside, California, okay. How many years ago was that now? Like 20?
Yeah,
18?
20 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm trying to find a good one. All right. Here I am. I had a full head of hair.
Wow.
Yeah. I was 23 in that picture.
Okay.
And the baby that I'm holding there
Right.
is my son, who's 30 years old now.
Right on. Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then the other kid next to him is his older brother, Chris, who's 39 years old now.
Dang. Okay. Wow. So what are their ages? 39 and 30.
Yeah.
Dang. All right. Well, hold on. I'll show you one. I got one over here. It's man. The little stand on it broke, but I think I got it.
There's one of me camping, laying in the hammock, camping out at the hot springs in California, Deep Creek Hot Springs. Chilling like a villain.
Well, I couldn't find the one I was looking for, so I just found my wedding photo. I guess I'm like 25, maybe. This is us.
Nice.
So I guess that was that.
So this one is, I just showed that one. This is me laying in the hammock at the Deep Creek Hot Springs in Southern California.
Right.
And then this is the same trip, but this is my younger brother, Steve.
Right.
And we were just talking about, I don't even know what, probably chicks, who knows, but yeah.
Nice.
Going at the hot springs. It was a 2-mile hike to get down there.
Right. And then you built camp, you built hammocks and all that stuff.
You know, we hiked all that in with us, set up camp and downhill all the way there and uphill all the way back.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's all I got to show off.
Yeah, the picture I was looking for was just when I was quite a bit younger. But anyways, I was like, oh well, I can't find it. This is our wedding. We were just exhausted. Like we were just so fucking tired. We couldn't sleep because we were like, this is crazy. You know what I mean? So we were
Where'd you get married at?
at the courthouse in Manassas, Virginia.
Oh.
Where they had the Bobbitt trials, Because I went and lived over there too. The where the Bobbitt thing happened, I went and lived over there. the apartments that they lived in burned down, but I lived in another one in the same facility.
Yeah, she. I don't know what I was going to say.
About the Bobbits?
No, I don't know anything about that subject.
Oh no! Now then after that, Lorena, she's been around. My wife get to meet her, because my wife would be working us that she goes to brunch for and stuff.
Oh, I was going to tell you a story about weddings. That one I know
Sure.
about.
Sure.
My fourth wife and I ran off to Vegas and got married, and it was a joke, and then it was a drunken seriousness.
Right.
And anyway, I came home married, and the woman I ended up marrying was my little brother, the one I just showed you the picture of.
Yeah.
His ex-girlfriend.
Okay.
Needless to say, he hasn't talked to me in about 15 or 16 years.
It was that bad? It was that bad for him? She was already an ex,
we
right?
were only married for 6 months and then divorced, but yeah, he don't want to talk to me no more.
Man, if she was an ex already, come on now. But I don't know. I don't know what was up between them. You know what I'm saying? So
I don't know either, and it don't matter. It ain't my choice.
You just came back. You were just having fun getting married, coming back with a.
It wasn't fun after that, I promise.
Huh?
There wasn't nothing fun for the next 6 months.
Yeah.
I promise.
You came back with a predicament.
My advice to everybody in the world is don't go to Vegas and get drunk and come back married.
Right.
Just don't do it.
See, I don't gamble, right? So, I mean, I've thrown away $20 or whatever, knowing I was throwing it away, but I kind of have an actual no gambling policy or whatever. So if I go to Vegas, I'm going to Vegas to make money, to do a job or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah, I'm same way.
I can do that.
You can put $20 in the slot machine, the nickel slots in Vegas, and get free drinks all night long, and just listen to the dingle, 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 of the machine.
Right.
It's enough.
Yeah. Nickels is what when I was a kid, that was the game we played. We flipped nickels because nickels are $2 a roll. Maybe you got to bring $4 for the day, but you get half of it back. You know what I mean? It was just a waste of time. That's gambling, for me.
Yeah, that for me that was just fun. But no, I like to do a private poker game every now and again if I can get my hands on one.
Yeah.
But a friendly game. I don't do the big dollar high stakes bullshit where people are going to cut each other's throats later. I do the small nickel and dime, quarters, dollar max type bets.
Right.
For fun, dealer's choice on what game we play.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You're playing friendly games. They're not things where people are going to try to get over on each other. They're just spending time, playing golf or arcade.
Play a game called Chase the Ace.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so that was a fun one. We put $5 in or whatever, and go around chasing the ace until you lose all your quarters.
Right. That's cool.
Yeah. That was a good one.
Anyway. I had a hard time in my life. I had my sisters, I had other people, and then most people that were on card games or whatever, it was always a cheat. Always. Somebody was trying to get an advantage. So the games that I played were more solitary or puzzle. I could play puzzle games, right? So I was big into Tetris and stuff.
Yeah, we might have people over to play other kind of games and stuff sometimes, or we used to anyway. We don't do that much anymore, but back then it was just about socializing, hanging out, passing the doob, and whatever, and or mostly we were smoking blunts back then anyway, but that's what it was about. It was about drinking the whiskey and passing the blunts and being a bunch of old men and letting the women laugh at us and we just wanted to sit and hang out, and we didn't even care about the conversation. Most of us, you
Well, I
know,
hope
the
not, man,
women
because
did, but
you
you
get too
know,
picky and somebody's fucking zooted out, and they're just having an off minute, don't pick on them. You know what I mean? You're gonna ostracize them, and they probably had a good point. Maybe next time.
yeah.
Don't ever
Well,
ostracize
because
a
then
man for
COVID came and
meandering.
shut us down, so we haven't played since COVID, and the younger guys all kind of like you just said, they went all crazy in their own world, and a couple of the older guys passed away, and so we just
Yeah,
quit playing.
yeah. It was sad about my uncle and the group that he hung out with, because they all hung out in it was like an abandoned school bus out there, and they did that for years and years and years, and they'd meet up there just face to face. But when COVID happened, they continued to do it, and there's like 14 of them, and then 12 of them get COVID, 7 of those die. You know what I mean? Like, it was
Yeah.
all just thinning out in their world, just because they weren't going to change a damn thing. I guess they weren't going to change a damn thing. So.
Yeah, well, it wasn't even the illness that got all my friends; it was the vaccine.
Yeah,
Every one of
yeah.
them were vaccinated, and then
Well, none
it
of
was
them did that. None of
complications
them did
after
that.
that. Whatever pre-existing conditions that they had
Yeah.
became worse and whatever, and it just went from there, and but that came out later in the news where they finally started reporting the truth about it. But anyway,
Yeah, well,
so,
none of them did, and they died that way, and
yeah.
uh,
Well, they would
I
have
just
gone
didn't
sooner
think.
or later anyway, but
Oh, for sure, yeah, for sure.
yeah. Yeah, but yeah, that's where I'm at over here now. I just kind of chill out, keep to myself, do my yard work. My old lady and I take care of each other. We got a new dog.
Right,
We're taking care of the old one as best we can. We got a few cats.
right,
I try to keep the yard work done best I can to keep the city off of my back.
for sure. Yeah, yep, that's important.
I told you about the last year getting tickets from the city because neighbors were complaining on me.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
think,
yeah.
I think I've narrowed it down to who it is that's complaining on me.
Oh, yeah, 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 yeah.
It's really funny because he keeps throwing stuff over the fence into my yard.
Hmm.
Pallets,
So you got
sticks,
reason to complain on and take pictures on him, right? So start doing it. Start gathering your evidence. Like, you got to do that.
yeah, paper trail and shit.
Yep, yep. I think so.
Yeah,
That's your best
what
defense.
I do is I just take the stuff and then I utilize it in the yard. So I use the pallets to stack firewood on, and all the sticks he throws, I turn into firewood and stack it up. Now he's got to look at a stack of firewood, and then I'm cleaning up a lot of my shrubbery and whatnot. And I'm telling my wife I think I'm going to use some of these pallets to build a. I got a stump in the backyard from a tree that we cut down. Anyway, I want to build like a doghouse size fairy type house.
Right,
They'll have to look at it.
right, 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 right.
Maybe I'll even make it functional and turn it into a birdhouse condo or something.
Right, right, right. There you go.
You know
There
what
you
I
go.
mean? And
Do you?
then,
Hey, how much would it cost for us to just give you 3 chicks? You could start getting some eggs rolling out of that house. You know what I
I don't
mean?
have an acre of land. The town I live in requires I have an acre of land in
Oh,
order to get chickens.
okay, okay, okay.
Otherwise, I'd have them already for sure.
Right, right, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I've been cutting and getting rid of a lot of the grass around the borders, and I'm putting in every day. I work a little bit and just kind of build another flower bed or whatever. And eventually, I'm going to turn the whole backyard into food processing,
That's cool.
manufacturing.
That's cool.
And
Please
that's the
put an
goal.
apple tree up for me, man. Put an apple tree up there.
Yeah, well, I've tried a couple of fruit trees, but they keep dying on me. So I think what I need to do is dig up the old dirt and make sure all the old tree roots are out of there and everything.
So they don't
And
choke it.
yeah, and then do maybe 6 feet deep of composting. We've only got like 2 or 3 feet of topsoil, actual,
Root.
nutrient, soil that's
Right.
good for the new nitrates, whatever. After that, it's clay. All
Right.
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 So I need to get down into the clay where I'm going to put my tree and put the nitrates 6 feet down. And that way the freaking roots have somewhere to reach so
Yeah.
that way and then eventually they'll chase the water table, and once they hit the water table, that's it. The tree will be self-sufficient. But I had a cherry tree in the front yard, and it was competing against the black walnut that had been there forever.
Right.
And then the backyard, I tried to put in a nectar tree, peach and apricot, nectarine, all that. It was a spliced all together tree,
That's cool.
And
Yeah.
it gave me plums and all the nectars, and it lasted about 3 years and then died out. And it was competing against that tree I told you I got the stump of. That's a Chinese elm.
Right.
And it's been there since World War II. So it got roots spread
It
out
took all the water. Yeah. It took all the water. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm going to have to dig up. I mean, I got volunteers from it popping up all over the yard anyway. I already started digging and found some big old fat roots going parallel in that 2 foot of soil that I told you about. So I'm gonna dig all that stuff up and try to cut out all them big roots. And it may take me a few years and I may never get it done, but I'll just keep trying and it'll keep me busy.
Right. Hey man, eyes on the prize, man.
Yeah.
We got to keep dancing, so you got to have something to look forward to. So you don't ever have to.
I got the music in me, man. I might as well dance to it.
Yeah. You got the music in you. Yeah, I'm telling you, you don't have to reach it. Just look forward to it, man. I'm always like running to that goal. I don't give a shit. I really know I'll never make it there because the more I get, the more I want. I want to learn more. It's a useless task,
Yeah. There's the goalpost keeps moving. There's no end game. It's just keep on learning, keep on experiencing, just keep on keeping on.
Mm-hmm.
That's all we got in this physical reality that we live in. But
Hey.
We do our best to try not to hurt anybody else as we go along. That's the rule I live by anyway. If I get hurt by somebody, I do my best to not hurt them back, and I do my best to get over it and forgive them as quickly as I can. Because if I don't, when I hold on to the resentment, it only hurts me here.
They don't. They're not thinking of you. Whoever the offender is, they're not spending any time thinking of you, and you're doing it. So you're over yourself.
They didn't offend me about me. It wasn't about me. You're right. Everybody's dealing with their own crap. Nobody's dealing with mine.
If we're just going to be worm food, I'm going to be the tasty one. I'm going to be tasty for them.
Is that what it is? That you're pickling yourself and fermenting?
Yeah. I'm going to be
I
tasty.
did that for a lot of years, but I tell you honestly, when I quit drinking, I was having blood coming out of everywhere.
Yeah.
When I sat on my throne, it was bloody and it was painful, stabbing, and I was vomiting it, and it was just not a fun thing. And about a year after I quit is when I stopped having that problem.
Yeah.
And even the acid reflux from it, because I burned the sphincter at the esophageal. I don't remember all the technological bullshit names. At any rate, I fucked it all. I mean, I messed it up. I'm trying to quit cussing, but you know how.
Oh no. Yeah, but for sure. But like that's the thing. Like somebody who even drinks as much as I do, any night they can die. Why? Because they'll aspirate their food in their sleep. Because what you're talking about, like that it's suppressed the urge to hold it down. So any night, somebody that drinks like me can die. That's the way it is.
How old are you, Joe? 47?
47, yeah, 47.
So when I was your age, I was drinking like you do.
Right.
I've only quit. I quit in August of 2001, August 13th. It was a Friday. Imagine that.
Yeah.
Uh,
Friday
and
the 13th. There you go.
that was my last drink, and whiskey was my drink. And I miss it. I loved it and all that. But um, so let me see. I'm 53 now. So then I was 49 when I quit.
Hmm.
And so when I was your age, it was poker night on the weekends and drinking and getting wasted and smoking as much as I could and all that whatnot and all that. But that's when I was really starting to feel
Right.
the effects because I've been drinking since I was 11. I've been smoking weed since I was 11. I've been smoking cigarettes since I stole them from my dad when I was 5. You
Right.
know,
Right.
whatever. My favorite drug when I was in my 20s was whatever the fuck you got.
Hmm.
You know, you
Yep.
got
Yep.
more, let's do it.
Right.
Yeah. Anyway, all that poison that I put into my body caused extensive damage that's irreversible. Most of it, not all of it. Some of it is reversible. And I'm already seeing the effects of that, the reversing happening
Yeah.
and I may never recover my brain capacity, but my digestive system is starting to heal and I'm hoping that my respiratory system will heal. If I
Yeah.
quit smoking the tobacco, that'll help that situation. Um, the nervous system damage, I think, is permanent, and the skeletal damage is permanent, but the muscular damage is reversible, and I just need to start doing the work. You know
Yeah.
how hard it is to want to start working out when you're an old man and you're sore all the time anyway?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, it sucks, man. But I've been using the shovel in the backyard digging it up, so that's a good exercise.
For sure. For sure. Yeah.
Using the wheelbarrow carting it around. So that's my workout.
It's a lot of work, man. Yeah.
Well, my son wants me to go join the Y, and they gotta wait. He wants to lift weights with me.
Right. 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 Right.
So if I get a membership for the Y, then I'll probably start working out with my son, and that'll be a cool bonding experience. So
Do you normally hang out with him otherwise, like, lunch or something casual?
once in a while, we were trying to get together once a week. Now it's just whenever we feel like it.
Right.
Uh, when he was growing up, I was a weekend dad, and there were a couple of years where he did the school year with me. Um, but I traveled for my job a lot and worked graveyard shifts, so I slept days. He went with me on the road a lot, but he hated it and all that whatnot, and held resentment on me for that. But he's over that and forgiven me for that now.
Yeah.
He went for about 5 years without speaking to me at all and just hated my guts. But now we're friends. And now he lives in Iowa and all that. But he grew up in California.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think my father, like, when you were talking about traveling, I think he has a misunderstanding, or he had, probably not anymore, but I think he had a misunderstanding that, like, kids take everything as an adventure. So he would think that, like, well, what the fuck would traveling bother them for? Like, it's just something to do. He thinks that, but, like, he doesn't understand, like, they want some stability, some sort of comfort of home that, he never considered. He didn't think
Yeah,
that. You know
I
what I
had the
mean?
same misconception as your
Yeah,
dad.
I
My
think
son,
so.
it was about the video games. He didn't like camping. He wanted to play video games. And when we got a hotel room, he would hook his machine up to the TV and play video games the whole time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. So whatever. It's whatever. But he's 30. He's got his own apartment and his own income, and he plays video games.
Yeah. 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 Well, I
He
mean,
doesn't have a
hey,
woman. He's got a dog, and so
yeah.
him and his dog play video games.
Yeah. We have two oldest sons, and one of them, it's been a thing about video games. Like, you really think that's the number one most important thing? Whatever. But at this point now, he's got online video games. He plays with his other sibling, on there. He's got like a fiance and stuff, and like that's just what they do. Like that's their meeting place. Their meeting place is like 10 p.m. on the server instead of at the bar. And that's just, it's some thing of life we didn't understand. Now he's a Twitch partner, he's a streamer.
Yeah, I don't know anything about that. Hey, I'm getting tugged on over here to go deal with some stuff with my wife. I need about 15 minutes. Do you want me just to leave this on and I'll be right back and you can entertain the masses? Or do you want me to come back and log back in?
Oh, the masses the masses are probably not even here. Like maybe we'll just see each other tomorrow or something. Let the masses catch us.
All right. Well, that's what I'm asking. Do you want to hang up or do you want to continue the conversation?
No, really, you just have to go do something for 10 minutes or whatever. Just
I'm
go ahead.
I'm going to go have prayer with my wife.
Yeah, leave it open. Yeah, I'll be right here.
All right, I'll be right back.
Yeah, leave it here. Leave it open. No big deal. I'll be back too, but I will entertain the masses in between. Just give me 2 minutes. Now it's not raining out here, so I have to not be loud. What? Ariana, go to bed. You have a very important test. No way. No talk. No talk.
Oh, I came back. Shout out in the chat room. Who's here? Anybody? The thing up here says we got 0 people watching.
Whoops. What happened?
I was saying shout out to the chat, trying to get a sound off to see who was in there, but the count on my thing says there's nobody.
Nobody's there. That's what I was saying before when you said I wanted to entertain the masses. I was like, they're not here right now, man.
No, I didn't have my glasses on. I couldn't see it.
Yeah.
I can't see crap without my glasses. But I can't. It's all blurry when I walk around. The rest, like the far away, is blurry when I'm wearing them.
Right.
But when I take them off, everything's blurry anyway. But I can't see shit close up.
Yeah,
That was
I'm
the thing. All
actually
my life, I've had 20/20 perfect vision my whole life until I don't know, since I moved here to Iowa. Anyway.
well. They say it happens, in your mid 40s because your eyeballs continue to grow up. That gets the screen in the back and the hole up front, the lens too close together, so you can't see except for further away, where it ends up being, you end up being farsighted.
Yeah, I think the doctor said something about cataracts too. So as soon
Oh,
as
you
I
got
can get,
cataracts too, yeah.
as soon as I can get some eye insurance or vision insurance or whatever it's called,
Mm-hmm.
I might have to get that taken care of and let them shoot the laser beams.
Well, here, oh yeah, man, I had that happen. I got all the tests. Okay, now we got two people in. Anyways, when I had that happen, I they said, yeah, you're gonna come in for bifocals soon. But the reason is because I grew up with 2015 vision. I had really, really good vision. So my complaints are like they're not out of bounds yet. But to me, it seems worse than it would to the average person. I had like 5 extra feet of vision before over the average.
Right.
So it bothers me.
Are we sitting in the dark now? I like that.
Yep,
That
I'm
used
in
to
the
be my
dark.
favorite. That was always my favorite. There we go. Darkness falls.
There we go.
Yeah. That was always my favorite, sitting in the dark up in the top of the mountains. You got all the stars in the sky above you and all that whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, hold on, I'll be right back. I'm gonna shut off the hall light.
Sure. I actually knocked over the stuff I brought out because I can't see, but that's okay. Let me see. Damn it. It was like Tommy Dorsey or something.
Which one's Tommy Dorsey?
I brought out like a cassette to play over here, like a Tommy Dorsey or something, but I knocked it over because I'm in the dark and I couldn't see.
No, I know the name, but I can't picture.
Yeah, it was like actually one of the musicians that Jimmy and I used to play with, his mother, her father played with Jimmy and Tommy Dorsey. They were brothers in New York that played like a really ragtime and upbeat jazz type stuff.
Oh yeah, that's where I know him from. Then.
Yeah.
All right,
So
yeah,
pretty
dude.
pretty old stuff, but pretty good stuff. But
Yeah, there we go. I had to light a candle so I can still see what I'm doing.
right. I thought you were making like a scrying mirror or something back there because I saw that candle go up.
No, I don't have one of those yet. I saw yours. I was thinking about, I got to do the research on it to know what I'm doing first.
No, I just went, no, that was at a Dollar Tree. It's just like a little frame that you could put something else in, but it had happened to come with a black cardboard. Now, I'll tell you what if you want to do it, just go to an antique store, right? Find an empty old frame, especially one of the bubbled ones, where it's like bubbled out.
Yeah.
And as it's empty, right, take the glass piece out and paint the inside black.
Right.
Then you'll have a perfect one to hang up. Just buy an old antique that doesn't have a photo behind it anymore, but has sort of a globe cover. Just paint that all black on the inside, and
Yeah.
then it's the whole idea of it is you take, like, I'll see my finger on my cigarette, but you take 2 candles and you put them in the right spot between yourself and the place to where you start talking to yourself, but the mutations can kind of happen in your face and whatnot. So it's really about taking those 2 candles to that
So
right spot.
what's the purpose and point of doing that?
Well, it's a
Utilizing that tool
communication, a
specifically
communication with a
like,
shadow self or something else.
Okay, so what if I'm capable of doing that without any tools?
Then you don't need the tools.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I mean, there's a whole temple in your mind. I mean, what I do
Yeah.
in my
Yeah.
mind without any need for any, basically, the time that my wife and I grab all these implements or whatever, it's more symbolic because the way that I will do something in my own mind is I just have a circle. I have an opening circle, I have a closing circle, and that's almost it. The rest of it is what it is. But there's a
Right.
communication between opening that circle and the communication with the universe and shutting it down and saying, either servitor go or let it be. Whatever be now is done. I'm done. I'm done. I've made my intention clear and I'm out. That's
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah. And so I've been working on that, but what I've been struggling with is the universe listens to your heart, but it listens to your mouth as well. And so if my mouth and my heart are not aligned, the universe will become confused.
That's
So
why I do the initiation ritual, meaning like now it's time to listen. That's why I open a circle, right?
yeah,
Because I will be flippant and useless with my, language and intention during the day when I'm not focused on anything. But I'll tell you what, this is our exchange. I don't ask for anything. I don't pray every day. So if I do something and I need to pray for it, you know what I mean? Like I'm saving that energy. See?
yeah, I don't pray formally every day, but I leave myself open in the reverence of prayer all day.
Sure, sure, sure.
Well, I get caught in circumstances where I shut it off like slamming a fucking door and start screaming and yelling, and the demons come out. But uh, I try to keep the demons in the cage and bound because otherwise they run havoc. But I try to keep the open communication, the alignment with the source energy open all the time.
All the time, yeah. Well,
But
I ritualize and formalize, as far as like making my intention known. And the reason I do that is because, the rest of it, when I'm going through ups and downs, like if you didn't understand that, well, then you didn't create me, right? Because if you were in my
right,
position, you might do the same. So
right. I
I
have
have
those
no respect for
conversations.
you.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I have those exact kind of conversations. And I talk to my higher power every bit as much as I'm talking with you now.
I believe
You
you.
know?
I believe you, bro. I
Yeah.
believe you.
Yeah. And believe me, we've had some extreme arguments, screaming, yelling matches out in the middle of the desert and up top of mountains and places like that. Those are my holy places. Those are the places I go to, or I used to go before I moved here.
Right.
I mean, I love it here. I'm sorry. I felt contention in my heart when I said that.
No, that's good. That's good.
But because moving here, I haven't been camping or outdoors really since I moved here. And I've
Right.
been here since 2013, so however many years that's been.
It's just a clip. It seems pretty quick, doesn't it?
Yeah, it went by like it was nothing, man.
Yeah, yeah.
And I mean, a whole decade, dude, gone.
Right.
But this is the longest I've ever actually lived in one place in my life, other than the house I grew up in. Because
Right.
I just always moved around. I was just a floater, that's where the hobo comes from.
Right.
I was a wanderer, and worked from every place I ever been. But anyway, this is retirement for me, and I like it. It's peaceful, it's quiet, it's beautiful. The scenery there, it's amazing how beautiful it is, how green and lush everything is.
Right.
Because I come from the desert, it's all brown and dead. I mean,
Yeah,
not
for
dead.
sure.
The desert's alive, believe me, but it's a completely different life,
Right.
And so yeah, I love it and all. I just have not allowed myself to fully embrace it yet. And I keep wasting my energy, as you put it, living in the past.
Yeah.
And not in all the negativity crap, just longing for the mountains and the deserts.
Yeah. Well, those most important moments, obviously, I mean, it sounds like that's when you're extended and you're just you. You're alone.
Yeah.
It's you, the elements, the sky.
You're
That's
never
when you
alone, but it's
raise your
you
hands to the
and
sky.
all
So
the
it's just
spirits,
up here.
Yeah. It's you and all the energies, and you can feel it. The vibration's different. You get away from the fake electricity, the man-made energies and everything, and the residuals from the power lines. You get way out there, away from all of that, and
Right.
it's a different flow. You can feel the earth vibrating. You can feel the earth breathing. It's a different vibration. And when you go up on the mountains in the higher elevations, same thing. The air is thinner, and it's a different spirit that lives in the mountains than that lives in the desert.
Right.
Different. I'm telling you, they're distinctively different. And even for that matter, the spirits in Death Valley were different than the spirits in Palm Springs. Okay.
All right. All right.
And they're both under sea level, so that ain't the issue. It's something about whatever took place in the different regions. It's a different type of energy that's
Yep.
been left.
Yep. I believe that too. I believe that.
Residual energy. People call them ghosts or whatever. I call them residual energy.
For sure, for sure. All the history, everything that's happened there, all the energy, all the blood, sweat, and tears. One of
And
my
even
favorite
right here where I
places.
live, we had all the pioneers and the whatever come through here, and they had all kinds of hardships, and there's all kinds of wars between the us people and the them people, and
Right.
I don't know what words I'm allowed to use, man.
No. I like the tribes that were already there, and the tribes that were walking through.
Yeah. My genetic bloodline actually comes from all of them, both sides. But my ancestors on one side kicked the butts of the ancestors on the other side and took their land and their women.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's really cool because my wife is like the rest of the world. She has everything I don't have by blood. You know what I mean? So it's really interesting. EMT, what's up? Or Emmett, I'm sorry, Emmett, what's up? Cheers.
Cheers.
We're in the dark here.
We're sitting in the dark. But yeah, it was good stuff, man.
Well, I mean, you just have to find your own version of that where you're at. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing extreme.
And that's the problem. I just haven't done it. It's my own fault. I got nothing, nobody, or anything else to blame but my own self, my own choices, my own fears that I haven't faced.
Right.
And I think mostly it's because it's going to be a whole new vibe, a whole new thing and all that. And I don't want to really go walking out in the woods by myself because I'm old.
And you're not ready to rebrand.
Well, I ain't never broke a bone in my body in my entire life. What happens if it happens? If I'm out there in the woods by myself, and there's always the first, right?
Nah, you can't. Yeah, you can't go without I don't know, some kind of notification device. I don't know if you know who Julian Sands, the actor, was, but he went out during pandemic times, and he went to he was in Los Angeles Hills. He went to some place that he goes and treks all the time. Well, that's not the point. You still got to go out with your whatever your satellite emergency signal and whatever. So nobody knew where he was. He didn't tell anybody. He went out there, they found a skeleton much later, trapped.
Yeah, and that's a very common tale, as a matter of fact.
And you don't want that to be yours. You don't want that to be yours. Don't be bold, man.
Yeah.
Be smart. Now that we have location devices and emergency calls, that's what you use.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's what I was thinking. I told you I was thinking about doing a trip down to Tennessee.
Yes.
I was thinking about actually walking, and just letting the wife meet me at periodic places along the way.
Right.
resupply and whatever and whatnot. And then we trekked it out, and it says it would take about 9 days. Well, I think that they're talking about a young, healthy person, so maybe
Right.
a little bit longer for me. But there's bike trails, paved bike trails, and all kinds of actual trails all the way
Right.
down the Mississippi River, all the way from here to there.
Right.
And campgrounds and everything else. So it wouldn't be like actually like, what's his name, Davy Crockett or Paul Bunyan or any of those guys.
Right. Yeah.
There's conveniences of modern, plus all the townships I can go through and pick up supplies or whatever and use the toilet or whatever else.
Yep. It's good for your health, man.
You're good for your soul too. But it might do me some real good to get out and stretch my legs a little bit and do something like that.
Yeah, for sure.
I always wanted to do the Appalachian Trail, but I never did get, accomplish that yet.
Right. Yeah, I've been on stretches of it because I've lived near enough, but not in any serious way. Like that's something my wife would like to do, so she says. You know what I mean? Like I'm not always so sure, right? So so she says, right?
Yeah, my wife wants nothing to do with any of that kind of stuff. She said, "You can walk all you want, I'll drive."
Right.
And her idea of camping is a hotel somewhere or a cabin.
Right. For sure. Yeah, I understand that. Yeah. And you live together. Yep. No, I know all that, man. What I like to do, honestly, is for us, vacation, man, it doesn't matter. We go like just one city over. We go to a motel for 3 days that has a pool and breakfast, and that's a vacation. Because if we go to some place for 6 days, we're pretty fucking tired of it after 4 or 5. You know what I mean? Like the air is too dry and, we don't have the right food anymore. We want to go home.
Yeah, I'm with you on that.
So that's what we've come up with. And then camping is because like you said, and my wife and I were so different. I never camped when I grew up, but I grew up across the street from a nature center. So we had our own ways of like hanging out in the wood, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so we had very fun ways to hang out, and we used to peel our twigs, and whatever before burning them. Well, then you have this fire with no smoke and shit. Like we're actually pretty cool at all that stuff we figured out how to do, and make our own little bows and arrows so we could have fun all day and all that good stuff, and cook a bunch of wild onions just to have a little flavor during the day.
Nice.
But my wife, she grew up where they just went, just straight camping, just throw a tent up. I never built a tent ever. We built stuff, out of like garbage. We had little shacks and stuff we could put up with.
Yeah.
So when we got into that, we split it in half basically. So we figured out we'll go to the campgrounds for 2 days and then a motel for 1 day. So that, even though the campgrounds have showers, it's not like hot or anything. You know what I mean? So we go 2 days at the campground, 1 day at the motel, get that hot shower, walk around in their robes, eat some biscuits and eggs on the way out, and then go back to the campground. And it's like, we start over again. Then we have 2 more days.
Right.
It's not like staying at the campground for 5 days in a row and like having your feet hurt at the end. You know what I mean? How you get all extra cold and sore. Just 1 day in between, man. That's how we figured it out.
Yeah, my wife doesn't like camping at all, never has, but she's cool. She always let me go camping.
That's good.
When we lived in Utah for the first 5 years of our marriage, and she let me go. I went camping for weeks at a time, and see that's saying, like you said, you go to a hotel and get sick of it after a few days. but I'd go up the mountain to the hot spring and never want to leave.
Right. Right.
And the only reason I was able to get away with camping out for that long up there was because in the hot springs in Utah, that's the Fifth Water Hot Springs is what that one was called. And I want to say that's a good 3 or 4 mile hike from the where we parked the car to get up the mountain to the hot springs area. And we camped out up there, had a nice little campsite carved into the cliffside. So we'd have to
Right.
hike up the side of this mountain above the trail, cut into the hillside, had a stone fireplace and everything, used rocks to build the, steps and everything to get up there, had our own little private hot spring there and
Right.
all that. And then we had a little, like, not quite a cave, but just like a overhang that we stored 5-gallon buckets full of canned goods and bottled water, first aid stuff, whatever you needed for camping. And so I just do long-term camping, tarps and sleeping bags and everything else. So I
Right.
didn't have to pack all that in. When I first come in, I bring fresh vegetables and meat and all that, eat that up in the first few days. And then if I want to stay longer, I got the preserves. And of
Right.
course,
Right.
we had
Right.
a bucket full of different kinds of booze too.
Right. Yeah,
One
for
guy
sure. Yeah.
kept leaving Everclear up there, so we had tons of Everclear.
Right.
That's good fire starter, but man, it'll burn your throat.
Yeah. I don't. Jimmy was he was making corn whiskey for a while, and in that process of learning and going through all the different stages of liquor and everything, and I'll never drink it again because a couple times it just catching my breath or just catching my throat there.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, hey, Jimmy, if I can't talk, I don't live. This is my instrument here.
Yeah, you got to take care of that.
Yeah. So, yeah, didn't mess around. It was so cool to learn, and I learned a lot, and those smells. They've ruined me off a lot of cheaper shit. I can't drink cheaper shit because I can tell. You know what I mean? But
what's that band? It's a newer kind of grunge, but not really. And he sings that Sound of Silence really good. You know
I
what
don't
I'm talking about?
I know what song you're talking about, but no, I don't know who covered it. No.
Oh,
Like
anyway,
the
the
Paul
lead singer.
Simon and Garfunkel song, right?
It's a Simon Garfunkel song, but this other guy, newer musician, covers it, and you can find it on YouTube. He sings it fucking really good. Anyway, you would appreciate his vocals. But I listened to an interview that he had done recently, and he said the same thing what you just said. That his group, his bandmates, they go out partying and drinking and whatever, but he doesn't. He doesn't go out chasing the skirts. He doesn't do drugs or drink or any of that because he's got to protect his tool, his instrument.
Oh my god! Oh my god! Yes. No, I mean, for me, it's like just for BS. Like I have to be able to speak.
Well, yeah.
But for a serious singer, I've told them all the time, really, they're not supposed to have dairy and stuff. Most of them are like telling me to shut up, and I'm like, hey, not my job, it's yours. I'm just saying.
Yeah, he was saying the same thing, and I just was like, that's devotion right there, man. That's dedication, straight up to his art, to his craft. You see so many musicians just go to the wayside because they get all wrapped up in all that stuff, and they ruin their vocals and stuff. Now a lot of them adapt and whatever, but some of them just never do recover.
But it's so sad because you got people who've worked as hard as they can, and they see people who fall who have talent they were never born with. So there's people that fall, have all the talent in the world that they wasted. And so the real workers, you know what I mean? Like they have to cry about that because it's a sad story. They could have been so much better.
Yeah.
I think my outside neighbor here is coughing and stuff, so I think I have to go because he's letting me know.
Is he letting you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, buddy.
All right.
Well, I enjoyed our conversation. I sent you an email with my phone number. You can call me anytime for a private conversation.
Cool. I will.
All right. And
All right.
all
Thanks
that
for the gift,
whatnot.
man.
All right.
Yeah. So
Have a good
see you
night.
soon. Take care.
Later.
Bye.